The migrant worker was just squatting down to tie his shoelace. By chance, a wealthy young lady in an ultra-short skirt almost sat right on his head as she passed by. However, she falsely accused the migrant worker of secretly taking photos of her. The migrant worker hurriedly explained that it was just a misunderstanding, but the wealthy young lady and her staff didn't even give him a chance to explain. They pinned him to the ground right away. As the wealthy young lady flaunted her status as a corporate executive, she mocked the migrant worker for being just a lowly peasant. Unexpectedly, the vice president's son arrived, and when he called the migrant worker father, the wealthy young lady finally realized she had messed with a big shot. The old man took out his phone and asked her to check if there were any photos at all. She panicked and apologized, saying it was all a misunderstanding. However, the president refused to let her off easily. He blacklisted her from the entire industry. It turned out that today was his son's big wedding day, but the son was very anxious because he hadn't informed his father at all. After all, the bride's family had high social status. If his migrant worker father showed up, he feared they would mock and look down on him, so he begged his father to go home quickly and not cause any trouble for him. But to his surprise, his father was completely unfazed. After his son left, the old man helplessly took out a photo of his late wife, because before she passed away, she had asked him to hide his true identity. It turned out he was not just a simple migrant worker, but the world's richest man with billions in assets. Not only that, he also had 3 goddaughters, each of them stunningly beautiful and immensely wealthy. Meanwhile, the president had already arrived at the banquet hall, but when he stood before his mother-in-law and the bride's relatives, every word they spoke was filled with disdain for him. They even said that marrying such a capable wife made it seem like he was marrying into her family instead. The president tried to defend himself, but he really couldn't present any impressive dowry. At that moment, his mother-in-law reminded him again to never bring his poor relatives from his hometown here, especially that embarrassing migrant worker father of his. The president forced a bitter smile and agreed. But in the next second, his migrant worker father swaggered right into the hall. The president was utterly shocked. His mother-in-law pressured him, leaving him no choice but to step forward and persuade his father to leave. But his father simply said, "Isn't it natural for a father to attend his son's wedding?" With that, he turned to greet the bride's mother. Yet she looked down on him with utter contempt. She shouted for the hotel manager to throw him out. The son, afraid his father would be humiliated, hurriedly stepped in to stop them, then turned back to beg his father to leave for now. But his father refused. At that moment, the hotel manager arrived. With just one glance, he recognized the so-called migrant worker as the chairman of the entire corporation. He was just about to greet him, but the old man stopped him. However, the mother-in-law still wouldn't let it go. She insisted that the migrant worker must get out immediately. Just then, the man's goddaughter arrived. Having heard that her dear brother was getting married, she had come specially to present a grand gift.